All right, well, there's another reason why we keep destroying meaning that I didn't talk about much last week, so we're going to talk about it more this week. And that's the idea of progress and how we define it and what we might think of as meaning when we first try to define it. And this has a lot to do with money. We generally define progress as, did the GDP of your country increase? And GDP is heavily tied to energy consumption. And there's a problem with this, which is that when you tie progress to GDP, you're looking at these people who have lived on the land for thousands of years without any concept of GDP. You have native indigenous peoples all over the world, and they have communities and families and their own ideas of prosperity, and you say that isn't prosperity, and you need to uproot your community and your traditions and your values to worship money like I do. So that's one problem. But why does that lead to us systematically destroying real meaning, which is life and the things that create life and enable life and complexity? That's a good question. So when we define progress in this way, where it is based on technological development and efficiency and GDP and money and output of things, you have to infinitely produce and exploit and extract. There is no end in sight. You have to always increase your GDP, and you have to always consume more energy. And there's no end to the consumption. So you're just defining progress as consuming more. Not only is that hollow and sad, it's also incredibly destructive. When we think about progress, we often also think about technology, right? And it's worth pondering, what do we think of as like a very developed society, right? How do we envision our futures? Maybe you have smart sensors in every home. Maybe we've launched ourselves into space and colonized another planet, and maybe we have very cheap, abundant energy everywhere, and maybe you have something that mows your lawn for you because that takes too much time. And maybe you have something that, like artificial intelligence, that can do your job for you in 2 seconds, and now you don't have to do anything for work, and maybe you get universal basic income. And it's like, maybe you can automate every aspect of your life. Is that utopia? That seems to be what we talk about utopia as being. But why are we doing that? What are we replacing it with? We're just replacing it with more consumption. There is no other goal. We're trying to get to a place where we don't have to expend any energy in order to consume infinite amounts of energy. And how we arrived at this new religion of worshiping money and consumption is a little bit of a mystery to me, but it is certainly one of the reasons why we are systematically destroying meaning.